Well, let's talk about this with Ross Clark. He's a journalist and columnist at The Sun and a big writer on, well, all things to do with, well, our fundamental natural resources. Good morning to you, Ross.
Good morning, Julia.
Thank you so much for joining us. I mean, look, you and I have talked a million times about energy, but one of the things we haven't talked so much about is about water, but it's in the news a lot at the moment because of the decisions about how much our water bill is going to go up. What is unique about Thames Water? I mean, other than the fact that it is by far the largest water provider in this country.
Well, Thames Water, along with the other water companies, was privatised in 1989. And existed as a public quoted company for a number of years, and that seemed to work okay. But it then fell into the hands of private equity and has since been sort of passed through the hands of numerous private equity organisations. And all along the way, they've helped themselves to large dividends from the, customers' bills and haven't invested enough.
Yeah.
And, with no new reservoir in 30 years, just sort of, they deal with the sort of supply issues by just telling us that we're putting hose pipe bans on us all the time. Yeah. And even when they have invested in something, I mean, bizarrely, Thames Water invested a decade ago in a desalination plant in Beckton, which was supposed to end, drought. The risk was going to, take seawater, which was never going to be a shortage of, and desalinate it, pump it around people's homes. But they decided not to actually use it when we had a heat wave because it was going to be cheaper just to tell people
not to water their gardens. So our lovingly tended lawns and our roses would all die. Yes, I remember that. I still get emails from Thames Water. I'm in the Thames Water area, like a quarter of the population. Even when there isn't a hose pipe, they're actually telling me, well, do take shorter showers because, although it's rained a lot lately, and I'm genuinely just resisting the urge to just write F off in an email back to them. Don't sodding well tell me how long I can take a sodding shower for with water that I pay for. I mean, it's just extraordinary. It's like coercive, abusive behaviour if it was your husband doing it to you. But this is the thing. I've never really understood how these organisations could be private anyway, simply because I don't have a choice. I can't go, well, Thames Water have been a terribly bad provider and there's been leaks and they haven't done this and the water's expensive. I know, I'll go to Yorkshire Water. I don't have the option. There's only one monopoly provider for every area, and all the water, even if it was another provider, would come from the same pipes in the same place. And I don't understand how it even works as a privatised industry, but especially not when it's owned, as you say, by private equity abroad and they're siphoning off billions at the same time as we have, 10 million more people in the country, massive industry needs for water. People have got power showers and things now, so people are using more water. Why on earth do they think that we didn't need more water, didn't need more reservoirs, and didn't need to stop all the leaks? It is utterly bewildering that people are paid massive bonuses to run these companies when they don't seem to understand the basics.
Yeah, well, it seems to me, I mean, there are two good reasons for privatising an industry. One, which is to create extra competition, and the second is to transfer financial risk from the taxpayer to private industry. And it seems to me in the case of the water industry, I mean, neither of those conditions have been fulfilled. I mean, as you say, it's a monopoly, and it has to be a monopoly because water supply has to be managed river basin by river basin. Otherwise, one water company, even if you did sort of put different pipes down the street, so you'll choose, one would be stealing, they'd all be stealing each other's water.
I mean, exactly. It doesn't make sense, does it? But Thames Water seem to be uniquely, bad. And is it just because they do cover such an incredibly big area and a hugely populated area in the southeast, or are they just really badly run?
Well, it's just Thames Water. I mean, I was listening to the sort of head of Water UK, that's the trade body which represents the water companies, yesterday morning, and I found it absolutely bizarre. He was sort of almost asserting that water companies should have the right to earn a 4% return, and nobody would invest if they didn't get that 4% return. And you say, well, that's not exactly capitalism, is it?
No, exactly. I mean, supermarkets don't have a profit margin of 4%.
No,
there's 2 or 3%. They seem to work all right.
This is not profit margins. This is a return.
No, return, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you think, well, the idea of putting it into private hands was to say, well, you're taking on the financial risk now, so you might make a lot of money if you manage your business well, but if you don't manage your business
you might
well,
lose money.
You might lose it, and you might go bust.
It's the same, but it's the same as the banks, isn't it? Like basically, you get all the rewards if it goes well. If it goes wrong, you want the taxpayer, or in this case, the water bill payer, to bail them out. Plus de chance. By the way, though, our water bills are going to go up, aren't they?
Well, our water bills will have to go up because, I mean, there has been chronic underinvestment over the decades. We haven't invested in the supply. And crucially, we haven't invested in separating the foul drainage from the storm drainage, and this is why we get all these
and we saw that problem with Paris with the Seine ahead of the Olympics. Well, that's partly because we did all this stuff very early. Ross Clark, great to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Philip Ingram, I mean, it's just incredible. And again, it's these privatised industries that don't really work as privatised industries.
It's madness, and I think there should be a mandated level of improvement every year.
Yes.
If they want to increase the water bill charges. Absolutely.
Oh God, they're an absolute nightmare. And again, it's when you get an email telling you how much water you can use. I mean, the hosepipe bans, we should all just blankly refuse. Mass civil disobedience, I really think. I'm just so fed up with this stuff.